Cougar fans, use this radio station tomorrow morning for important news updates. Listen to Utah's most important radio station tomorrow morning from 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
Cougar Nation here on KSL News Radio. Mitch Harper, Matt Baiamonte with you. It's a big week for BYU hoops. It's a big week in Big 12 basketball coming up tonight. Iowa State's going to take on Arizona on Big Monday. BYU, of course, against Baylor in Provo. Coming up tomorrow night, we'll be inside the Marriott Center, tip-off at 7 o'clock. You can listen to the game here on KSL. It's going to be televised on ESPN2. Big game between the Cougars and the Bears. And, Matt, let's get out to the phone line and welcome in some of our callers. Nolan from San Antonio, you want to talk about Yegor Demon?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow night, let's call it Big Tuesday. And I just want to say a lot of Cougar fans seem to be kind of down on Yegor. Maybe he doesn't score enough, but I think that what they need to realize is as a freshman, he's really the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak. I believe we won't see him after this year. I think latest I saw probably a 7th pick overall. Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah, and there was, if you kind of combine all the top mock drafts, you see him around 6, 7. There's going to be 27 NBA scouts and personnel at tomorrow night's game, so that kind of highlights the interest in Yegor and VJ Edgecombe from Baylor.
How do we get a nickname for him? I want to promote a nickname for him, The Difference, because he makes the difference. When he's hot, the team wins. When he's kind of down, has he been a few games ago, the team struggles. So I think he is the difference.
Thanks for the call, Nolan. I like that. Matt, what do you think?
Yegor
the difference?
Nolan, love the call, man, but I could not disagree more. Yegor is not the difference. To me...
What?
To me, this might sound crazy, but to me the difference is a guy who's been in the program since 1999, it seems like. Trevin Knell. Trevin Knell, to me, is the difference. When Trevin Knell is shooting it like he is shot of late, that is a big reason this team is winning.
Matt, so you're saying I'm siding with Nolan because if Yegor plays like he did against Cincy, BYU's going to go to the dance and they got a chance to, win a game. What do you say? I mean, that's the difference because we've seen when Yegor has some no-show performances, they're losing to anyone in this league. But when Yegor shows up, they can beat anyone.
Yegor's shooting was very nice against Cincinnati, but he's had some poor shooting games that they've still won. But and Yegor doesn't want to score. That's the other thing. Like I'd love to live in a world in which Yegor wants to fill it up and score 20 points a game. He's not interested in that. And Kevin Young's told us that. He wants to make the right play. He wants to survey the defense and distribute the basketball. Well, he cannot do that effectively if there aren't other players making shots on the other end. And BYU needs Trevin Knell, man. They need this dude to be a sharpshooter. Knell is quietly rising the ranks. I don't know how many fans realize this, but when it comes to, you talk about percentage, 3-point percentage, and 3-point makes, Trevin Knell is rising the list. When his career is all said and done, he could be top 5 in both, perhaps, yeah. Mitch. They need Trevin to be a double-digit scorer. He has to be consistent in that. Yegor has not proven an ability at all this season to be a consistent scorer. He's proven to be a consistent difference maker in terms of running the offense and getting others involved. But if the others aren't making the shots, that makes Yegor, his superpower, less effective. They need Trevin Knell. They're getting – Richie's consistent. You know what you're getting from Richie. Can you get that every night from Trevin? Because if Trevin's going to give you 12 to 15 a night along with Richie, anything from Yegor scoring-wise is just a bonus.
I do like the mention of Trevin because last week at this time, it was a hard time for Trevin after that Utah game. Cincinnati and Colorado games, he was solid, and he was 6 of 11 from 3. You put up those type of numbers in a week, BYU is going to be in a good spot. Let's get back out to the phone line, 801-575-8255. We'll go to Logan, not the city, but Logan from Provo. What do you got? What's on your mind, Logan?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
I kind of wanted to talk about just how impressed I've been with Kevin Young. Obviously, everyone had high expectations going into the year. I kind of expected, some setbacks just because adjusting to the college game, I think, is often harder than people realize. But I've been really impressed just by first and foremost, his willingness to adjust the lineups. We've seen a lot of different starting lineups, a lot of different groupings out on the floor. I was a little worried that he was going to be too loyal to the high recruits that he brought in, but it's clear that he's prioritizing the success of the team, even if it comes at expense of the minutes of, some of the new players that are struggling. Relying on the older guys who are getting more consistent production. That's something that I've just been really impressed with, is his willingness to adapt like that. And honestly, people are talking about it more and more. I still don't think it's talked about enough, is the development of Richie Saunders and how he's starting to make his way into, NBA conversations down the road in his career. That was something that when Kevin Young first started saying that, I wasn't too sure if I agreed with seeing Richie as a future NBA guy. And when I told my friends about it, they were with me there. But man, it's just totally changed in the past, 4 months or so. So anyways, just really, really impressed with how he's doing.
Great stuff. And hey, we've been talking about it a little bit here on Cougar Nation, the development of Richie Saunders. But yeah, Kevin Young's done a great job. And I think the point you're making too on the young guys is specific to Cannon Catchings, who was in the starting lineup, struggled, saw his minutes go down, and they played some of the older guys more. I think Kevin Young's done a phenomenal job, all things considering. Great debut for him. Sure, there's going to be some bumps along the road, Mitch, but I don't know how you couldn't be more impressed with what he's done in this first year.
Well said, and I think that what's been promising, too, about Kevin Young is that he's not, I love Logan's take about how he's willing to adjust, because Kevin Young wants to ultimately win. He doesn't care who it is out there on the floor. He wants to find ways to win and put out a winning product every single night. And it doesn't matter what your star rating is. He wants to win and perform at a high level. So Kevin Young's doing a nice job. I think better days are definitely ahead for the first-year head coach standout for BYU. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Cougar Nation. I hope all of you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast, and we will talk to you on Saturday with Cougar Sports Saturday here on KSL.